Let's make sure that this thing is working. Gotta definitely make sure. Let's make sure that this thing is working. Cool, it is. Sick. Yeah. Uh. I mean, I'm pretty sure my story right now. I can. You can share this. I don't know why it's not showing it. Like, I don't have a private account. Yeah. Everything is here. Hi everybody. Just trying to figure something out real quick, and then we'll get to it. Man, it is hot in this house. Like I'm kind of burning up. But yeah. So I posted. You can join in right now to via my story on Instagram, and my friend Mike is telling me that you can't share it for some reason, which is really weird because I feel like you can. Yeah, no, literally everything on here says you can do it, so that's very interesting. Um, Come on, Mike. Yeah, I don't have a private account, nothing. So I mean, people should be able to share this. Mm. Yeah, literally allow story replies from everybody. Yeah, anybody can use this. So, um, that's very strange that you can't share it or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, hi. How's it going, everybody? Um, if you've tuned in before, if not, doesn't matter to me. Last week, I tried talking for like 45 minutes, and the entire time, the audio was broken, and I'm almost positive it's not, because I looked it up on my phone real quick to see if it was good, and it's fine. So sit back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Up more on the page. Yeah, no, you you can do whatever you want with this thing. I don't know. Like I promise, Mike. Uh, yeah, no, that's on, dude. If anything, I'll just make it super easy for him. And because he's being awesome, he's probably trying to share it uh, here. But yeah, so last week I tried talking for about 45 minutes and it was broken. So I'm going to talk pretty quickly about a lot of things specifically related to this. Sick. What's up, Mike? Yeah, so as I was saying before, we're just going to go quickly through the whole setup, why I use it, how it works, and I'm going to quickly show something else because someone on one of the posts I made on YouTube asked how I made a specific sound, and I'll quickly show how that is done and how I did it. But yeah, so welcome, etc. Hi, how's it going? Hope everyone's having a good day. Yeah, it's super hot in my room. But yeah, glad you're in here, Mike. Like I said before, hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, dude. So I'll try and kind of quickly go over some stuff. So, to start off, I usually start off just talking about the TR-8S, which is quite a bit of machine. I think it's probably the best drum machine rhythm performer that we have on the market right now. A lot of people would argue with that, say other things, but I love using this thing. I use it very, very quickly and like using it constantly because there's a lot of things you can do with it. Add samples, mute things really quickly, etc. But the main purpose of it is solely a really, really decent drum machine, and it's very quick. You're able to add things with this pad here. You can't see the pad. Hold on. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah. So the pad here, you're able to add things. Yeah, you're chilling, man. Do your thing. But yeah, so the pad here, it's very quick to add things into the actual sequence. You can use it on every single one. It's very fun. The reason I use a MIDI clock, this thing, is so that I can actually have that be the brain of at least keeping clock, and I send it to the TR8S. I also send it to the looper pedal, so both of them can be in sync, and I have no delay in us, having it quantized and synced. So for the most part, I use the TR8S with the 6 outs on the back here. And the way I use that is I have the bass drum and the rim shot. I treat it as like a kick and a tom for the most part. The snare drum here and the ride crash, those two, the yellow. I use that solely just for like random things, a snare or a rim shot or tambourines or stuff like that. Percussions mainly. These 3 blue, I use them for synth stabs and loops and effects, random noise. This one solely by itself is going to be the hand clap. I use that obviously just for a clap for the most part. I will use it occasionally for other things, but mainly use it for that. The 2 here, this CHOH, close hi-hat, open hi-hat, I use that solely for just hi-hats and cymbals and stuff. This guy, the CC, I use it for rides or I'll use it for something else. So all 6 outs are routed into this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So they're all routed together differently, but they come out in the 6 outs. They come in the big mixer over here. Yeah, so I'll have the first 6 channels be the TR8S, and I constantly mute things from there. I can do a lot of EQing manually from the mixer. The reason why it's such a big mixer is because I kind of plan on getting potentially another TR8S and having 12 channels. That'll be kind of crazy and a lot to handle, but I almost want to go that route because of my ideas and where I want to be. So anyway, 7 and 8 on the mixer are going to be from the looper pedal, but the way that this works is I have 2 rack mount synths underneath the table, TX81Z and a JB880. I have this mixer box that has the JV and the TX coming in, and then I have it coming out into this Space Echo, which then comes into these 2 chorus pedals. And those chorus pedals, just one channel comes into the left onto the looper pedal. And this function right here, this knob, I'm actually able to switch it from left to right. So 7 is left, right is 8. So I can manually have on this looper pedal, one thing on 7, one thing on 8. So I'm able to have like a bass line and like a pad, and I can layer it for 4 things here, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is all synced. All of this will be in sync with the MIDI clock being the main thing for clock, so everything still is like on beat. So the other pedals that I have are a reverb, a delay, and a super shifter. Those 3 are actually routed into the back of the mixer in effects sense, so I'm able to like add any channel with whatever delay, reverb, or the pitch shifting, which is pretty fun because the TR8S is actually limited. So the left and right main outs on the TR8S, you're able to use like the reverb, the delay, the master effects, all that stuff on here. But as soon as you come 6 outs, you're not able to use the effects that are on board with the TR8S. So that's why I was like, might as well get some effect pedals and throw them on here. But yeah, so the Space Echo and the 2 chorus pedals, those would go through the synthesizer. So the 2 rack mount synths that I have, they'll get like delay and chorus on them and kind of a reverb to them too. So there's still some cool contouring that I can do with random things, improv, whatever it is. That's what this is. It's a live improv set, so it's not computer based whatsoever. Obviously there is some type of kind of onboard computer for this TR8S, but for the most part it is just straight like a sequencer. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 banks, all with 16. I suck at math, so real quickly, that's 8 times 16, 128 steps essentially that you can mess with, but really it is just 16 steps per channel. you're able to copy things too. So, I could do A to C, B to D, and then you would have those variations and then add small variations while I'm performing too. Because if I just hold D and then have all of them right and click on D, D, see as it's flashing right now, um, it'll like play. Like I'll have it playing. So for instance, if I just, I'm sure you can hear the kick. So, right, so it's just doing some hi-hats and stuff, right? So if I was to like just add that, and maybe that, whatever, right? Just add a couple things. All these others will be different, but as you see, you can still switch around and go to the tier 8S on D, and it'll add these. Obviously, you can just hold D, and it'll just play that one pattern, that one bank. But it's very straightforward. Like I'm constantly entering things very quickly. None of it is second guessed whatsoever. I'm putting it in and going from there, having fun with it rather than stressing out and like having a bunch of scenes already put together and wondering which ones I should do. I'm 100% making this all up on the fly, just figuring out what I should do. Is the best way that I can put it. Someone has said before that it's kind of like painting, where I have a palette of colors, and colors are sounds, and I'm just putting a bunch of stuff together and seeing what it feels and sounds like to me. Consistently destroying and adding things. It's a lot of work. I definitely think it comes down to having confidence with what you're doing too. It's not something you should just be like, okay, I'm going to do this. This works. Because even if you mess up, I don't think there are mess ups. As Bob Ross would say, there's happy accidents. So you have this thing where you'll be making something, either with the tier 8S or using the synthesizers, adding notes, whatever. I'm not a professional keyboardist. I literally play by ear. None of it is like I don't have stuff up here, man, that I'm like, oh, I know that note and know this like I'm familiar with the notes, but I'm not musically trained whatsoever when it comes down to like playing keyboard. I mean, I'm even learning guitar, and I'm not a professional guitarist. Like, I've produced music for forever, honestly, like over 15 years, and most of it was entering in things till it sounded good to me. So that's kind of how I still take this approach, where I'm just kind of, entering things in and seeing how it works. But for the most part, the whole basis of this is from here creating a beat, maybe adding a stab or two, and having some type of like flow of sound kind of going with this beat, and then layering it with maybe a bass line, a pad, a lead, something of the sort, and just kind of going from there, and then constantly destroying or taking things out, then adding them, taking things out, adding them. Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward what I do. A lot of it is not easily doable, obviously, because it's all by feel and all by like, oh, this sounds good to me. Because something that sounds good to me might not sound good to you. And that's not really the point. The point is this is improv. I'm having fun with what I have. I generally like doing this because it's a very interesting art form, in my opinion. And using electronics to make music is fun. If I didn't have, electronics, I'd probably be playing the drums still because I grew up playing the drums. If not the drums, I probably would be playing the guitar. I also film make, so I might be doing that. But if I had no electronics in general, I probably would be playing an instrument still. So I transitioned from playing the drums and wanting to be in bands and stuff to doing one man show stuff, which is this, like, drum machine, effects, synths, and using a looper pedal to keep it all in, some type of organic structure. Using a clock, some people would probably say that's not, organic, but in a sense it is, because it's in time, it makes sense. Things that are with no structure are very difficult to control, and so essentially I am making dance music. I'm trying to just have fun making this stuff, not get super scientific and elaborate with it. I can easily do that too with taking the MIDI clock out. If I took that out, you'd hear it. You'd hear how out of balance it is. It's fun, but it's also like disheartening, I think is the word, because you'll just consistently like have to catch up to something else, and it just sounds like not garbage, but it sounds, I think the best way I would say it is, it's not easy to keep it together. And maybe that's not the point. The point is just to do it, and like constantly just keep trying to change it or whatever. But it's like, I've been to a couple of shows that were experimental, and those are great for their own reasons. It's not a common thing to be like, I'm enjoying this. It's more of an experience. And I would say the same for if I had no MIDI clock. It would be an experience. And maybe that's what people are looking for. If they're not, great. If they are, great. Like, what I'm doing is what I would like to do. So that's also something I take into consideration, is don't start caving or trying to please everybody, because not everyone's going to be liking this anyway. So I'm just doing this because I like doing this, and I've been confident enough to start streaming it and showing it to people, because I'd rather do that than just sit in my room and do this stuff all by myself and just like not talk to people. I mean, I like sharing things with people. So I've played a couple of shows with this stuff. Surprisingly enough, I get more attraction online doing this by myself. Like, I think I've done a couple streams with other people, and I've gotten more exposure just doing it by myself than I have by working with other people. So maybe that'll change, later down the line, but I generally like doing this stuff. Like, this is fun. The looper pedal thing is really cool. I actually picked that up from watching The Surgeon, who is a techno DJ, and he also live performs and uses modular equipment and stuff like that. And he used a looper pedal in his more ambient sets. So when he was like doing, I can't remember the actual synth that he had, but it was a very organic machine too, where you would have to like physically touch everything and put things in. I'll have to look it up. Honestly, I'll just look it up now. The website I go to is called Equipboard, EQUIPBOARD. Great website to see what people use. I mean, like, honestly, one of the best, because you can see every person on the planet and what they're using. Well, I guess it's not going to show me because I've seen it before, but I think this might be it. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, the Lyra. So the Soma Lavatory Lyra. That was a really bright screen. So maybe if I do this, yeah, cool. You can kind of see what I'm talking about now. This guy. Of course. Ooh. So yeah, I think if I move my face a little bit, there you go. So this guy, yeah, he was using that and the looper pedal that I have, the 45,000, and he was just like adding things in organically and looping them, and then having, I think it was an SH101, like, but he was using the SH01. Isn't that what that is? Um, the smaller device. Yeah, the SH01. So he was using these two and putting them kind of layered together. So he would be able to like just add new things and kind of go from there. And I felt that was a really cool thing. So I saw that he used the 45,000 pedal as well. And I was like, cool, I like that pedal. It seems pretty straightforward. There's actually another model over it too. It's, I think, the 96,000, or like, I think it's the 96,000. But it has like 6 or 8 channels that you can mess with and like have layers with, which is really, really cool. It's very intense. I might as well just pull it up because, you know, we got another like 20 minutes. So if I go and type in 96. Oh, it's 95,000. Yeah, dude, this thing's crazy. Yeah, so it has, I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm in the way still. Okay. Yeah, this thing has 6, so it's a 6-track looper. Um, I like, I could get that, but I feel like I'd have to learn it really quickly. Because I like using the 45 because I've learned it. The whole point of the 45,000 is, oh, okay. So if I quickly do this and then add me back. So this right here is a new loop. You'd click this and then it'll start flashing, and you quickly can add like new things, like start a new loop. And what will happen is what you're entering in. So usually when people watch me perform, they see that they're seeing me hit this guy here because this is the foot pedal for it. And so if I hit new loop, it'll flash, and then while I'm playing, like while it's like, you know, while this is going on, I'll hit new loop. So I'll actually just show you really quickly. So new loop, you see it flashing, and if I go to here, there you go. Like, it's gonna loop that forever. Another thing too is, when you are doing that, I think you get like about 45 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, for how long of a loop you can do. So that's like the first loop that's on it. Like the first loop that you enter in, however long that is, when you click it, when you're done, whatever, if you do it over there, over here, wherever it's at, every other loop after it have to be shorter than that. So if you start playing for a minute, right, and you're like adding some cool whatever riffs or whatever it is, once you like, it'll actually loop too. So like, it'll start the loop, it'll play it, and then once it's finished with that loop, it'll just come back and cycle back to obviously the beginning of the loop. And if you entered past that, it'll just start recording that, like it's got an overdub feature. So that's what will happen. It'll just start continuing to go on the same thing that you're doing, but you're dubbing over it. So usually I try and do like a bass line. If not a bass line, I do a pad, and it depends on whatever I'm starting. So if I do a pad first, then that pad is more easy to mess with and like add things after it, because for the most part I kind of wait for it to dissipate, kind of go out of volume, and then it'll just come back up from what I started originally. And you can clearly hear this. But when you're doing like a bass line, the bass line should be like the same thing over and over and over and over again. So then when you do like a random bass line, it might be a little bit harder to like gauge when you did this specific, variation in that bass line. So I think most of the time I start with a bass line. If not a bass line, like I said, I start with a pad. So going from there, that looper pedal is really, really fun. I know there's other products like the RC505. I'm not sure what his name is. It's like Mark Ribile or that guy. I saw him when he was, fresh, new, and he was using that pedal, and he liked using it a lot. And I felt I didn't really want to use it because it takes up a lot of room, and you can actually clearly see when the loop finishes too. But I think it's kind of cool for this pedal in itself, because it's like very it's made out of metal more or less, and it feels solid. You really can do a lot with it, and I like the fact that I can switch left and right and make that 7 and make that 8. So these two will always be, solely for the looper pedal. And like I mentioned before, I wanted to get a second TR8S and have maybe just one TR8S be straight, drums, only drums, and then have the other one be straight up just synths and maybe, voices or vocals or whatever it is. Yeah, no, like it can get very hectic very easily. If you watched my last stream, towards the end, I had more or less everything kind of going on, where I had kicks, I had claps, snares, hi-hats, everything, even some synth stabs, and they were kind of manipulated. Like, there's a cool function on the TR8S where it's called record, and you can change the pitch and the control on it and change how it's coming out, and it'll record that, like your movements of how you're twiddling the knobs. Now, with the looper pedal, it's just recording whatever you put into it. So if I add a chorus and some of this like space echo, you can hear me like doing weird stuff. That will be recorded into the looper pedal because that's coming straight on the same channel as the actual synths. So if I wanted to add some pretty cool depth or variations, it's super doable. Like, it's not going to be a hesitation whatsoever. And I think, no, it's a great time. Like, this is a very fun setup. That's why I'm trying to explain to people how to use this stuff, because it can get like super hectic, like I said, very quickly. But anyway, I'm gonna show real quickly, and then I'm gonna probably cut the stream and then start a new one for the live set. But yeah, so this gentleman on YouTube, I'm gonna find his name actually so I can shout him out. His name is An Air Conditioner. That is his name. He asked me how I made these dub sounds on the TR8S, and I'm gonna show it right now. So I'm gonna go to A just to have something and then believe it is the Vox stab. If I'm not so. Yeah, it's really just mainly the sample. Nothing too crazy. So, I'm sure you can hear this. That's just straight reverb and delay. So, yeah, it's um, it's mainly that. Like it's literally just me adding. If I was to do all four. Yeah, it's actually mainly the synth stab itself. Yeah, it's just a Vox stab. Um, I'd be more than happy to make it available for someone to grab. Um, doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's just a sound. But I think I've taken it from something that I found a long time ago. It's probably a Vengeance sample from 2010 that I just kept for a long time. And I like how the light is starting to dissipate. But yeah. Yeah, so like I said, this is like the first time that the audio worked, so I'm happy about that. So if there's any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and shoot me text or email or anything like that over YouTube or Instagram. My Instagram, it should pop up. There it is. Yeah, so if you wanted to ooh. Yeah. If you wanted to talk to me, there's my handle. Reach out to me, excuse me, to ask questions or whatever it is. I'm more than happy to talk about this stuff. This whole setup is just what I do. Like I said before, it's a lot of fun, and I like playing it. Yeah, I really don't think there's much else I can go over. There's a lot of ways to go about using this setup. I mean, I could go, house and techno, or I could go breakbeat, or I can go ambient, anything like that. There's no real wrong answer or way to not go about it. It's all right here. There's no, like, I'm not using a computer. The only thing I use the computer for is to seriously record it, and that's it. And honestly, I don't even record it. I just have it to have the audio lines available so you can even hear the music. Um, if I was to do it any other way, you wouldn't hear it. So I personally like using OBS because that's what I use. I use OBS to stream, and I've been trying to be readily smart about using this stuff because it's not the easiest thing, like I've said in one of the posts that I made. So if you've enjoyed what I'm doing, let me know. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Like I said, just shoot me a text, follow me on Instagram or whatever it is, and yeah, go ahead and let me know what else you need from me. But yeah, just to go over again, the dude that was asking about that stab, it was just that. Just that's literally all it is. It's mainly the box sample that I have. Like, I could turn it a little bit, like it's really just, it's all it is. And if you want this sample, I'm more than happy to give it to you guys. It's a cool sample though. All I'm doing right now is changing the last, so this button right here. There's a sub button, so I can do this. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed what I've explained. Let me know if I wasn't clear enough. I will gladly go over some more tutorials. And next stream, I tend to kind of break down how to actually route this all. And I'll go over that and kind of show how it's all routed. But yeah, I just want to mainly touch base on why I'm using this stuff, how I use it, etc. And yeah, so give me like the next 10 minutes. I'm going to get something to drink. I think I have it here still, but yeah, I'm going to get something to drink, and then I'm going to go ahead and start playing, and we're going to go from there. So cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream of me talking for about 45 minutes again, and we'll carry on into the next video. I'll post a link again, and yeah, we'll have some fun. All right, so take care, everybody. Thank you again.